guys, it's Chris Pre, and I want to get into the commonly asked questions, part 2 of 3 series. It's been a while, so my apologies for not getting this back to you, but we'll be working on our book and working on some other things. And so in no particular order, what I'm going to do is go through some of the questions here that have come in over the course of the last few months on the website. I mean, they're repeat, so I want to make sure you understand them. Again, in no particular order. This one was kind of a, you could tell, you'll see from the question, it's a new investor, obviously. It just said on my email literally 2 days ago, how much money do I need? Kind of a loaded question, but as far as doing deals, you need $10 to $100 for a deposit for a property. That's it. That's what you need. I mean, I'll leave the answer there because in the QLS, the Quantum Leap Systems video course, you will get an idea of how that happens. And if you haven't looked at that yet, go to the website, smartrealestatecoach.com. You're probably seeing this on there now. Register for the free webinar, and at the end of the webinar, there's a Quantum Leap System video course. Grab that, because that's going to help you be comfortable with the fact that you don't need any money. Now, I said it's a loaded question because I've spent a lot of money on coaching. I'm not suggesting that you have to spend that same amount. You don't, because I already did it. So you do want to tap into our QLS course. If you think that you qualify, you want to apply for the JV partnership with us, there's things you can do and that might cost you some money. One of our JV programs actually gets you your entire deposit for the coaching back, 100%, meaning net zero cost to you. So, sorry, long answer, short question. What are my risks? That this kind of goes along the same lines as that one, because your risks are very little if you operate the business properly. Now, we're working on a book that's coming out soon. I'm not going to tell you the title yet, but the fact is, I do go into details there. There's things that are in there called what can go wrong. I do go into some things that can happen, but they're all, you can safeguard them all, and we have over the years made our contracts better and better and better. They never feel safe, but they safeguard you pretty strong. Let's see. Do I need a license to operate in my state? And this was someone from Arkansas, actually, but irrelevant. Let me answer this. It's answered in great detail in the book, but as long as you're optioning property or writing a lease purchase option or writing up a purchase and sales agreement, this gives you equitable interest, no question. And in most states, what does that mean? That means you're operating with your own properties. You don't need a license to do that. Now, check with your local state and licensing authorities, because I don't know who's watching this, number one. And number two, I don't know how dated this will be, and perhaps by the time you watch it, something's changed in your state. So I'm not going to tell you that it's never required, but generally speaking, you don't need a license to sell your own properties. Okay? You want to make sure that you're being careful with that with the right paperwork, and that's why, frankly, to be a part of our membership community, to have access to all that is super important. You have access to all our agreements that were done by our attorneys. Thousands of dollars spent, tens of thousands of dollars. Let's see. There is an exception I can think of, but again, you can do this on your own. In the state of Florida, if you are, let's say you're doing your own properties, you're fine. But then if you hire an acquisitionist, which would be a normal kind of progression in your business, and that acquisitionist is not licensed, that's a problem, unless they own a piece of your company, even if it's 1%. Just to give you an idea of exceptions out there. But generally speaking, you don't need it. In fact, you'll learn when you read our book and go through some of our information that my son and I were licensed. We dropped our license on purpose. Now, that's not to say you should drop your license. There are pros and cons to it. I'm not going to get into it here, but if you're licensed, for example, and you want to maintain your license and you have a good business for regular conventional real estate, this will open up an entirely different profit center, and it behooves you to learn it. Okay, so that's that group. Let's see what else we got here. How much spread should I take, Chris, in a sandwich deal to make it worth my while on a lease option, or if I'm doing some owner financing? Another loaded question. That's kind of up to you. I'll tell you that our average right now roams around the $410 mark. We track it weekly. It changes weekly, but we try to maintain that. So we've been as low as $150 in this calendar year for a spread, and as high as $1,000, as you see in some of our videos. Now, what dictates that? There's 3 other paydays, guys. You got to look at, is there a huge back end to this thing and only a little bit of a spread? Okay, your decision. Is there a huge deposit that can be had from a buyer and only a little spread? Okay, your decision. But just make sure you're looking at the whole picture in all 3 paydays. We answered that. Should I ever ask the seller for a credit back against purchase price when writing my yeah, I mean, if I write a sandwich lease contract, first of all, let me back up. If I write an owner financing deal, we have not written one yet in the last 4 years that I can remember that wasn't 100% principal pay down for owner financing. Those deals are sweet. Now, on a lease purchase deal, we started off doing a couple different things. If it's debt free, we are asking anywhere from 50 to 100% credit against principal, almost like owner financing, if it's debt free. If there's a mortgage on there, you don't have to ask for a credit back on your monthly payment because you're making that mortgage payment, and the mortgage payment you're making, principal pay down is happening. And I hope this doesn't confuse you, but when you start paying on that, let's say that you say to someone, I'm going to buy your home for the price of the mortgage, the payoff of the mortgage at the very end of the lease. Well, then that's going to be lower than it is now, and you get principal pay down. Let's say that there's a mortgage and there's about $100,000 equity that you're promising them at the end. That their $100,000 equity is locked in. The principal pay down that's happening from now to the end, that accrues to you. You're locking their equity in based on the price today minus the mortgage today, so that mortgage is going to be less when you pay it off. I hope that's a long answer to your short question, but you absolutely, if it's debt-free, want to ask for credits. Let's see. I'm going to just do maybe 2 more, guys, and then I'm going to leave the next few that I have here for you to listen to on part 3 of 3, okay? This is a quick one, so I'll do this one. Does lease option trigger a due on sale clause? Absolutely, 100% no, none of the time. You're not doing a transfer of the property. And also, on that note, let me say this. We've had sellers ask us, you know, does my mortgage company allow me to lease option this out? Of course they can. I don't know of any exceptions, and I may be proven wrong here because things change, but I don't know of an exception where you can't lease your property. You don't have to notify the bank if you're leasing your property. You can lease it to mom and dad, you can lease it to anyone you want. I don't know of an exception to that. So if it exists in your area, let me know. That's it for part 2 of 3. I'll try to get this out to you in the next week or so. Again, we have a lot of projects up in the air. I hope these help you. Keep the questions coming, guys. It helps all the other members, and of course I'm throwing this out on the free site. I want you to learn from this stuff. And we're in the trenches every single day, as you know. And I remember just recently in one of the recent edits in the book, the question came up from the editor, because they interview and they prompt me with questions, and they said, geez, Chris, there's a whole bunch of mentors out there and coaches out there. How do they know who to listen to? And I said, I'm not so naive to say you should listen to us every time, but you should listen to someone that's in the trenches every day, because I can't imagine just teaching this and shutting off my deal machine and then not having my finger on the pulse for what's changing in the market. It changes so fast. When we started doing these 3.5, 4 years ago, these terms deals, things are totally different. Our agreements are totally different. Things have been tweaked. Why? Because things change in the marketplace. Things change with the buyers, things change with legalities. You want someone, number one, that's in the market doing deals today, not just teaching it. Number 2, you got to match your personality. If you probably figured out by now, I'm rather blunt, and so is it my team, because it's my kids, and so we want you to do deals. We're not going to candy coat it. It's important to know that that's our goal. So if that blunt personality doesn't fit with you, then find a personality that you find online after watching their videos that's kind of a warm and fuzzy one that I don't know. But make sure they're doing deals and it's someone that you think you can get along with, okay? Make it a great day.